challenging me, so here we go. Blood, Sapphire Control. Oh, it's so hard to do new things. It's hard, Elliot. It's hard to change. It's hard. I've been doing this. I've been playing ramp for so long, Elliot. Okay, well, he's playing some sort of... possibly some sort of shin hair deck. Likely not, though. This isn't great, but we can... I think we can deal with this. Because Peak will get us that other resource that we need, hopefully. It's pretty questionable, though. I don't especially like it. I think I can get there with Peak. If I play... yeah, I'm gonna keep this. It's probably against my better judgment, though, but... rolling the dice here. So what I'm going to do is likely I'll open up with a Sapphire Shard. So I want to maximize my Peak card draw. So that's really important here. I'm okay with them being a little bit more sci-fi with this game. In fact, one of the other... oh, that was a lucky draw. I think I still go with Sapphire here, though. I'm trying to remember what the split is on the deck. I feel like Countermagic's going to be kind of... it could be important. He might be ramping here. So we're going to go with Sapphire. Let's see, 1, 2... let's just count up our blood shards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I've got 11 blood shards on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 Sapphire Shards. So yeah, Sapphire is definitely the one we want because we have less of those. That's right, I remember now. I remember now how I designed this deck. So... but yeah, so at the dinner, at the Hex dinner, I met some of the producers, the people that are going to design the PvE dungeons, and one of them is a 16-year-old. We have a 16-year-old producer, and he wants to do something where the dwarves are going to go to the moon, or some sort of a, you know, into outer space type of thing, which I think is pretty neat, because, I mean, there's really no space-themed magic sets that I can think of. You know, they're all medieval or something on some sort of planet here or a different universe or whatever. There's no space stuff. So I think that would be pretty neat. Swinging in with the Howling Brave tells me he doesn't really have very much. Let's see. So he's 5, 6, 7. Dandelion Sprite. Okay, that's pretty good. It's got... so the only way for me to deal with this Dandelion Sprite is to either block it or to sweep it out. It's not such a big deal, though. That's pretty low damage, so I feel pretty good about this. There's another Blood Shard. Okay, so I have enough to sweep now. So this definitely pays off. So I'll peek in his end step. That's one of the wonderful things about Peak is you'll play it on your opponent's end step, and it makes it look like I have something I can do during his whole turn. Very few things I could do with 2 Sapphire resources, though. It's likely he doesn't have a 3-drop in hand if he has 3 drops in this deck. So... sure, taking 2 here. Yeah, it's likely he doesn't have any 3-drop or anything. Crash a Beast. Sure. Okay. Still waiting for his end step here. End step, okay, we'll go ahead and peek. I think this is still a little bit bugged. So it's going to show me Flock and a Sapphire Shard. I guess I pick up Flock here. Yeah, I'll pick up Flock, I guess. Not the greatest for blocking his Rhino, but it can block a lot of other stuff for days. So I want to sit on Countermagic here, and I want to hold this Flock until I can play it. So I'm going to sit on Countermagic. Next turn I might play Corpse Fly, but I'll sit on Countermagic. I'm taking 5 here. I'm really kind of waiting for Extinction is what I'm waiting for, but I'm guessing he's got something more nasty coming. He still has 2 cards in hand, so there's a good chance that he has some pretty nasty stuff coming. So all it needs to happen here is I just need to draw into an Extinction, and I'm in pretty good shape. Swinging for 5 or 4. Okay, so he's got something to drop here, so I'm really happy I held on to the counter spells right now. I can also play Corrupt Harvester and probably start racing him pretty soon. He likely won't have a lot of interactivity being in mono wild. Yeah, no blockers. So second main phase he's going to play something that costs 5 plus probably Shadim, which is really good for me to counter. I'll definitely counter a Shadim if he plays it. Shadim would be good for him and for me. And countered. I think he should have expected that to come. So the nice thing about this is if he has another Shadim in hand, I know he can't play it. He can't possibly play it now. And actually I can play the Corpse Fly here, which will block his flyer if I have to with it. Not the best. If I draw Extinction here, I can cast that as well. Although I might just... I'll probably actually... Yeah, if I have Extinction, I'll cast the Extinction here. If I draw into one. Top decking Extinction would be really good here. Okay. Still waiting on my prep phase. There we go. Another Corpse Fly. It's not horrible. So... I think I just play a Corpse Fly here. The nice thing about Corpse Fly is it forces him to play his cards, because if he doesn't, they just get Corpse Fly'd. I'm going to make a trade here. It'll probably be Corpse Fly to his Dandelion Sprite. So I know he's got buffs in the deck now. Now that I've seen that he's got a Wild Growth. I feel like I kind of flooded a little bit, so I feel like I'm in good position on his board state. Can't really block his Rhino. He's playing his resource right out. He probably should have held on to it and played in the second main phase. Swinging with the Rhino by itself, I'll take 3. The Corpse Harvester puts me in a positive board state, though, because it has evasion. Corrupt Harvester, as it were. I can play Seagulls and prevent 2 damage every turn as well. So I play the Seagulls, I can still Countermagic, but he's in top deck mode. I think Harvester is pretty much the play here. So we're going to do that. I wouldn't make a trade with this guy, so I'm going to go down 3, but I'm going to start gaining 3 every turn. And he shouldn't be able to deal with my Harvester, so I have him on a clock now. So I'll just sit on this board state. Now, if he does draw into something big here, he can just play it right off the bat, so that would be bad for me. I have to be careful how I block here because I know he's got buffs as well, so like if he swings in with Howling Brave by itself, I gotta be wary that he might have something. Swinging with the... okay, I'll take 3 unless he's buffing, in which case I'll take more. I don't think he's got any more than that though. Great thing is now his tricks, I've got Countermagic for his tricks. I can play this Corpse Fly for the card in his hand if he's going to not play it here. Actually, I have 2 Corpse Flies that can block his Rhino here. I can play the Corpse Fly and I still have Countermagic up, so that puts me in a really good spot. I want to play as many Sapphire Shards as I can, so that way they can maximize the next time I draw Peak. Go ahead and draw my card here. Relentless Corruption. It's probably not better than Corpse Fly here, because I can just keep control by controlling the cards he has in hand. So I'm going to do this before combat in case he had some sort of trick. Let's see what he discards here. Hopefully a big fatty, like Fist or Brigadon. Although if he had Fist, he would have played it. Especially when I was only in 1 resource. Okay, so it's just a resource. I'm going to keep up the Countermagic here. Attack step, swing in with Harvester. Now we're tied up. Definitely want to keep the Countermagic up in case he draws into something. So that's for the rest of the game. Now we want to keep 3 resources up, so we always have Countermagic available while we have it in hand. Sounds like Zachary's not very happy downstairs. I can hear him crying. Yeah, he doesn't really have an available move now, because if he swings in, I could double block his Rhino, and that's the only thing he has in play. I'm going to go ahead and play the Blood Shard for more charges here. I'm going to play Relentless Corruption now, before combat, just to see what I pull off of his deck. Well, I could have done that before I drew my resource. Survival of Fittest. So he does have something like that. Okay. It's not going to do too much for me. I guess I can Survival of Fittest in his end step, I can Survival of Fittest my Corrupt Harvester to his Howling Brave. That way I can gain some more life. So, yeah, we still want to sit on this Countermagic. Even if we didn't have Countermagic in hand, there's a chance that we probably would want to just sit on this 4 resources. Usually better players are going to look at that and they're going to try to play around it a little bit. Sometimes you kind of got to just play your cards. He's in a really bad board state now. He's got plenty of time, though. You know, there's this 4 or 5. He's got a 5-turn clock. Okay, he's going to swing with that guy. I have to assume that he has a buff in hand, which I have Countermagic for. So I'll just go ahead and block it, and we'll just see what happens here. Actually, you know what? I can just attack back with flyers. I'll just take the 1. I can Countermagic his buff. It's really not a big deal. So swinging for 7, him giving me a swing for 7 seems really good right now. That's 5, 6, 7. Yeah, dealing me 1 point of damage is pretty inconsequential. So that looks like a bait, like he has something in hand. His end step, we're going to go with Survival of Fittest, my guy to his guy. Just to gain some life and take away some of his resource production. So, and that gains me some more life. Lots of evasion on my side of the table for sure. Oracle Song. I'm going to Oracle Song now. See what we get. See what we draw into here. We'll go ahead and play the Sapphire Shard. We've got Mesmerize if we need it, which we probably won't. We just save that for a really big creature that's a threat, because right now this Rhino is not really a threat at all. And we'll go ahead and attack. Swing in with the house. Second main phase. We still have enough resources to have Countermagic up and play this Flock, so we'll go ahead and play Flock. I think I'm running like 26 resources in here, 25, something like that. It's a lot. Whatever it is, it's a lot. I'll go ahead and I'll recap the deck again after I'm done. So now I can block his Sprite all day. Again, the Rhino damage is pretty inconsequential here. I think I'm only running like 2 Corrupt Harvesters in the deck, so it's good that I drew into this one. Or maybe it's only 1. Can't remember. I think I have 2. It's kind of a big deal for me to gain life back and gain board state back. And nothing to do in his end step here, so I'm sure he's pretty happy about that. Another Mesmerize, just more removal. Of course, we're going for our Sapphire Shard here because we've got all the thresholds met for the deck. 3 is what we need for Uruunaz. We've only got 1 of those in the deck. Go ahead and go to our attack step. Swing here for lethal. Or actually... yeah, I can counter magic whatever he plays. If he blocks my guides, kind of doesn't matter that much to me, so I'll counter magic if he doesn't trade here. He has to block here, though. Making this trade is okay for me. I'm fine with that trade. But I expect him to buff here. That's what I expect to see. Let's see the buff so I can counter. No buff. Okay. I'm perfectly fine with that trade. Yep, still sitting on counter magic. Yeah, he really needed to draw like some more Crash Beast or something, put some more pressure on. I didn't even have to sweep him out. He actually flooded pretty heavily too. We'll just say no to that. I don't really need to, because no matter what, Corrupt Harvester was coming through with damage, but... plus I have Mesmerize that could deal with it too, so that was actually probably a poor play. Cat is in my thing. Cat's in my wire. Cat's on the wire. I suppose the only problem with playing this deck and streaming is the fact that my opponent could stream snipe me and see exactly what I have in hand and when I'm bluffing and when I'm not. It's just kind of a big deal. Okay, I guess he just surrendered. So we're going to game 2. Playing the same deck, so go ahead and do the challenge here. Blood Sapphire Control. So the main thing that really made this deck for me was having access to whatever that card is. This seems perfectly fine for this deck. Yeah, I mean, I only need 1 more blood. I've got the Extinction. I've got an Argus, which eventually is going to get there, so that gets kind of scary. That should get scary for my opponent. I've got a bomb. I've got a nice early drop, which I can play. This is a perfect hand, really. I couldn't wish for more. So we will lead off with our Sapphire Shard like we did before. I just forget what that card's called. Peak. Peak really makes this deck work because it allows me to have a lot more deck manipulation, which is really what you want when you're playing Sapphire type decks. We didn't really have that before, and so it's a very, very important part of this deck. Without that, we really couldn't effectively play this deck very well. No turn 1 drop. It's not the greatest for him. So we'll go ahead and play Flock here because there's nothing else we could really do. That just sets up a nice blocker for us for quite some time, and we're just trying to get to that mid-late-ish game anyways. Eventually we're going to be able to play Argus. I was actually thinking the other day, looking at Argus, I was like, man, I should probably be playing like 2 of these in the deck. Or 2 of these in my ramp deck, because with the nerf to murder, he's harder to get rid of. Also in this deck, like, I can wait for him to be free, play him out, and I still have Countermagic up. It seems really good to me, so... and for the most part, I'm not going to play him out anyways if I have to Extinction the board anyway, so... It's one of those things where the longer the game goes, the less chance my opponent has to win it right now. Looks like he just drew that Howling Brave. So hopefully he won't flood this game. I mean, obviously it was good for me last game when he did, but that was a big factor in that last game, for sure. So we can't actually play this Extinction yet, but we really don't need to. We will get a card draw off of the shards we've got in hand. We've got Countermagic up if we need to use it, but chances are we won't. I saw he has Jadim. Jadim is kind of like my primary Countermagic target right now, looking at his deck. So that's pretty much the I probably will not Countermagic anything except for Jadim right now, looking at what's going on. So chances are pretty good. He's got Crash the Beast. Okay, a Wild Root Dancer. His thing can get bigger. He can swing. I can still Extinction. Do I want to counter this? I mean, I guess I might as well stifle it. He's got 5 cards in hand. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and counter it. That might be a big mistake on my part, but most of his stuff dies to Extinction. I'd only really be taking 2 every turn, because he basically buffs his Howling Brave, and I don't know. The longer this goes, the better it is for me, for sure. Basically, if I get to turn 6, I can play Argus with 6 resources in hand, and then otherwise it's turn 7, I play Argus. And then he should take over the board state. My opponent won't. It won't matter. I don't even know if my opponent's going to have a big enough creature that can fight him. Prep phase. Argus just did his thing. And card draw. There we go. So there's a murder. That's a much better answer for Wild Root Dancer. I guess it's a decent answer also for Jadim, so that's pretty good. I can do that in his end step. Seems pretty good. Just sit on this board state. Still need to draw that Blood Shard. I've got more Blood Shards in the deck than Sapphire. Again, this is where Peek is really going to come in handy, because right now I can Peek for 3. Next turn I can Peek for 4 if I top deck one. So I have a lot better chance of smoothing out my draws and getting to that Blood Shard that I need right now to make this happen. Also, I'm drawing a card off of my champion in the next turn. 4 cards in hand. What's he got this time? There's Jadim. So we're gonna go ahead and murder Jadim in his end step. No real reason to leave it up. Yeah, we'll just murder it now. Just going card for card with him. He's got 3 cards in hand. I've got 3 cards at this point. Again, he's not really playing an interactive deck. Fist of Brigadon is actually a big problem for me. Of course, Argus takes care of Fist pretty effectively. There's another Sapphire Shard for us. We'll go ahead and draw another card off our champion ability. Sit on this board state. Mesmerize also handles Jadim pretty well. We've got a lot of answers to these single target, really big troops that are that keep hitting the board. We really might not even have to use this Extinction here, because next turn I'll be able to play Argus, and I don't think he's going to have an answer for that. He's not playing in Diamond, so I can actually attack away with Argus, no problem. The The only thing he can do is play like a Jadim and then like fight it with my Argus. Cottontail Ronin's a little bit late to the party. He really needed to get that guy on turn 1. He can swing, but I just block it with Seagulls. Seagulls isn't great, I mean, but it's like the best blocker we have right now. I just like having to play with it. I'd rather have something I can flash into play, something I can play really fast. So I do have to be a little bit careful here because he could be holding cards. He's got 5 resources. Although, no, I don't think I have to be that careful. Because he'll just play it out and then I can just exile it. So it's really not a big deal. So I think I just go ahead and just go for it because he doesn't have removal in this deck. If he does, it's like a Chaos Key, which he can play and then he can activate, and then I'm in trouble a little bit. But you know, I still have Uruunaz in here and I can resurrect his Jadim, which seems really good to me. I also have Extinction if things get really hairy. But I think Argus should just take over the board state now. He hasn't made a single Battle Hopper yet. I think he's waiting for me Extinction to do that. I can't really flash any troops into play, so I'm pretty safe to attack in here. I've got a murder in hand. Second main phase I can play the Seagulls, so I'm looking pretty good right now, so I might as well just attack. It's nothing really worth exiling here, so with Argus's ability, of course he's got the start. I can void target card just by simply using him. He used to have an ability that was like you could void target card, or you could activate him and deal your opponent 5 damage. And it's probably a lot better that he's actually a troop that does. He was a troop before as well, but it's probably better now that he's a troop like this, because now your opponent has a little bit more that they can do. They can actually play something to block him. I think this is for the Challenge Series, if I remember right, tournament. I don't think this is the Placement Series. I don't know, it might be. So he's going to swing in here. He doesn't have Crush, so I just throw Seagulls in front of him. He's probably just doing this to buff him. Really, it's not worth me even like using Murder on or Mesmerize on either one of these, because I can take care of them pretty effectively with Seagulls. So it really, to me, it's like, it doesn't matter to me how big this guy gets. I guess he could eventually maybe get him to a place where he can buff him with Wild Aura and then trample crush damage over to my champion, but he's on a 3-turn clock now, so chances are not good that that's actually going to happen. Unfortunately, I can't play either one of these Extinctions still, but I'm in a fine board state. I can just swing in, just swing away. See, it shouldn't have any reactions here. I kind of wonder what's in his hand. I kind of wonder what he's got in his hand right now. He just didn't come out the gate very fast or something. I'm just not even sure what's going on. There's 5 cards in hand's a lot. I mean, no matter what threat he drops, if it doesn't have Spell Shield, like if it's a Battle Beetle, like I might have a slight issue with that. But then I just sit on my board state until I feel like I'm ready to sweep out with like Extinction. And meanwhile, everything else, I just void everything else. Which might put me in a board state where I won't even have to sweep my own Argus out. basically, if he can't deal with this, it's I don't see this going well for him. So he's got 2 turns to draw a Chaos Key and deal with it. Okay, I'm not sure why he's doing that right now. He's doing this in his second main phase. So that seems like a play mistake. I'm not sure why he just did that. Oh, survival of the fittest. So in response, I will murder his guy. So that means survival of the fittest shouldn't work here, because this guy should be in the graveyard. As long as it's working properly. It might not work properly. So, but if that does work that way, that's fine. I still have Extinction in hand. I'm still in an okay board position. That was pretty smart, though. I have to give it to him. So we'll see if survival of the fittest crashes the game or fizzles here or what's going to go on. Can I put a 3rd card on the chain? See why not if you have reason to play it. He doesn't have 2. It's survival of fittest costs 2, so if he has another one, I don't see that. Okay, good. Oh no! Oh, that shouldn't have happened. Well, there you go, Alpha. It shouldn't. Yeah, so it still recognized his troop as being a troop, and that's why it killed him. But that's fine. That's perfectly fine. So, another reason why it's tough to play control right now is because effects like that are not functioning properly. Yeah, that's fine. That's perfectly fine. I still feel perfectly fine about this game, this board state. Somewhere in these 45 cards I've got Uruunaz. And I've got cards that should be able to get me there with Peak. Peak should help me get there. Yeah, there's that Blood Shard I was looking for. Another reason why I guess I was running the wild ramp is because there's very few problems with it. No, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to have him subtract 5 health per turn. I will just play it out. We'll just play it out. To me, I mean, I'm just going to rule this as a judge walked up to my table and made a really bad call, and I had to live with it, which can happen in real life. Not every judge is perfect, although they should be striving to be. So, yep, I'll just sit on this. I mean, I can sit on this board state for quite a while here, so I've got 2 extinctions. Yeah, it's not his fault. I don't blame it on him at all. So. Fist, which I have Mesmerize for. I'm going to Extinction away the board, though, I think, here, to get rid of his dorks, maybe. Because if he plays another Fist, then I'm in trouble. He knows I don't have Countermagic, otherwise I would have Countermagicked his Fist there. I don't know, it depends on what I draw if I Extinction here. Okay, another Mesmerize is perfectly fine if he plays Fist, so... it's fine. No reason to play Extinction now. Because I can just Mesmerize the next fist. So I can take care of him. Taking 6 here. Actually, I'm taking... Well, if he swings with the dorks, I'm taking 6 no matter what. But if he doesn't, then I'm taking 4. Because he'll crush right over my Seagulls, and then I'll Mesmerize in the next turn. Yeah, he's going to go ahead. Alright. So he doesn't have another 6-drop, so that's good. So yeah, Argus could have taken care of Fist here. That would have been nice. Another Extinction, not really doing a lot for me. Did you sneeze? Yeah. He's got 5 cards in hand. He's got a lot of cards in hand. Of course, I've got 4. I mean, that's a pretty decent amount, although they're the cards I'm not really looking for. I need to draw a Peak or to draw Uruunaz here. Yep, there's another one, sure. Alright, so now I'm going to sweep and play Mesmerize. So I think I'll just sweep there, and then I'll play Mesmerize after I take 6 more. Let's see what happens. Relentless Corruption. Let's see what we get with Relentless Corruption. We get 2 cards now. I draw another Fist. That would be quite humorous. That doesn't really help. I'm supposed to get 2 cards. I only got 1. Oh wait, no, maybe that's the first time I played it. Whatever. So Ronin might take me to my win. That's hilarious. So we'll just Extinction here. Next turn we'll Mesmerize. Actually, I can Extinction here and play the Ronin still after I Extinction. Take, cleans up the field nicely. Play the Ronin here. And then I can Mesmerize his Fist. It would have been nice to draw one of his bombs there. Not sure how many he's actually running in the deck. I'm guessing he's running his play set of Fist, though. I gotta guess. 6 more. Ouch. He has to drop another resource to play another Fist here. Or another... what do you call him? Howling Brave. Something tells me he's already played all his Howling Braves. I think I've got like 5 or 6 answers to Fist in here. Got Ice? Yeah. So he didn't have any other plays there, so that's kind of interesting to me. So yeah, we're gonna do that. And I'll play my Corpse Fly. See what he discards. Probably a resource. Well, no, he should have played a resource if he had one, so it should be a spell here. Not sure why he's not playing cards. Maybe he knows I still have Extinction. Or maybe he's just wary of my Countermagic. Okay, he plays another Ronin. Swinging with his own Ronin. And I think I've got him at like maybe 3 turns here. Because this is 1, that'll put him at 9. Next turn I have 4 coming. And then the turn after that I've got 5. So 3 turns if in an open board state. I'm not sure why he didn't play any more cards there. Well, he can play a Fist here again. And that would be really bad for me. Alright, well there you go. That's really bad. So he swings, I'm on a 2-turn clock. I can swing for 2. I really need to draw something that answers his Fist here. I can't play an Extinction, that doesn't do anything for me. Play the Sapphire Shard. I need to draw another card, so I have to keep playing my shards. Swinging with Corpse Fly, putting him down to 7. I'll take 6 from his Fist in the following turn. And I can only give him 2 more, so he'll win this if I don't draw any sort of response to his Fist. We'll go to game 3. Yeah, it's whatever. I mean, most of the tournaments are kind of like... It depends, like, because they could, in the future, say that troops are troops in all zones. Like, for instance, if you buff a troop and then your opponent returns it to your hand as you're buffing it, it still gets buffed. And that I agree with. Root Dancer. Okay. Oh, I had quite a while back. I had Argus in play, and he buffed a guy up, and then he fought with him, and I murdered in response, and his creature still fought my guy from the graveyard. So now I have to block with Ronin to go to 6. And I have to Extinction here. And so if I draw something to counter his Fist and Extinction, I'm in an okay place here. I can still come back here. I just need to draw an answer. Well, now that's not okay. Well, game 3, I guess. So the best way to contact me is you can message me through my Twitch, you can message me through Google+, you can message me through my Twitter account, or anything else. Of course, the news that I'm giving you is the same news you're going to get off the Hex website. I just kind of give my own spin on it. So... Okay, so Challenge and Blood Sapphire Control. It's a tournament match, but these tournaments, realistically, they're really mostly for gloating rights more than anything else. Especially this one. This is pretty bad. I'm going to keep it, though. I can't say no to lots of shards. I just can't do it. It always gets me in trouble, but I can't do it. I just can't say no to lots of shards. Depending on what he draws will depend on if I play my second Sapphire Shard, though. He so far hasn't had a turn 1 dork in all of his games. I really like being on the draw in this deck. Also, I didn't get Uruunaz there, so... Okay, 2 Flocks seems pretty good. I really want to play this Relentless Corruption as soon as possible, though, I feel. So I have enough that I'll get my card draw off my champion. That's always good. And I've got exactly the threshold I need for every required card in this deck. And the card draw and some other cantrips in the deck should hopefully get me there. Okay, playing his Dandelion Sprite. So 1-2, like, it isn't even really worth countering or trying to murder. I can throw Flock in front of it perfectly fine, although that's going to stifle me from playing Relentless Corruption. I might as well prevent the damage, though. I'll just go ahead and throw a Flock out there. The nice thing, I guess, about making the play this way is that in the next turn I'll play a Blood Shard and not be able to play Relentless Corruption, which will make it look like I have Countermagic in hand. So the funny thing is that I wasn't playing Mono Ramp, and now I'm playing against someone that's playing Mono Ramp. With control, of all things. I feel like my Mono Ramp actually would do a little bit better than his, though. I don't think Dandelion Sprite is as good as... okay. Is that great. Perfectly fine with those Dandelion Sprites. 20 turn clock seems pretty good to me. You can draw a lot of cards in 20 turns. Okay, man, thanks. Oh, 2 of those, okay. So we're playing the Blood Shard here, and we'll go ahead and play Flock. Next turn we've got Relentless Corruption, followed by another turn of Relentless Corruption. So we'll see what kind of stuff I can steal out of his deck to use against him. The other interesting thing to me about Relentless Corruption is its card advantage, card draw. You know, once you start playing like the second one and then on up. And so it actually takes the place of Oracle Song for me. Okay, so he's playing a Root Dancer, so he's going to buff some of his guys. I guess that's kind of a problem. I am forcing him to play all his stuff, and if I draw into something, I mean, that's kind of a big deal. I still have plenty of stuff. I'm going to take 2 a turn. It puts me on a 10-turn clock if he swings with his Root Dancer, so... I still have plenty of blockers in play, so pretty good spot. Let's see what we draw into. Mesmerize. I'm going to save that for Fist. I won't play that on anything but Fist. Let's see what we draw out of his deck here. Not a resource. Okay, well, I took one of his wild shards. I guess that's good, too, if I stifle his resource base like that. I don't want to play this. I want to hold off on playing this as long as possible because I want him to think I stole something out of his deck. That's good. If I play this, he's going to be like, oh. I need to demoralize him as much as possible. So when you sent that tweet, Jake Freedom, I hope that you sent me an actual like deck list on like one of the deck list websites. Not like, because it'd be virtually impossible to make a deck list in 140 characters. Although I'd be impressed if you did. I would be really impressed. You might be able to do that if something like, if they had something in this game like Pack Raptor. Or not Pack Raptor, but the other card. You want a story? Alright, we'll do a story after I'm done with this game, okay? Say okay, Daddy. Alright. He wants a story. I'm going to do a story after this game. This is the last game. Win or lose. So I'm taking 4 turn. I can Extinction. I'm going to hold off on the Extinction. I got plenty of time to play that Extinction right now. I'm going to let him just keep overextending. Probably should have drawn that card first. Oh, okay, so I can hold this Wild Root Dancer. That's okay for me, I guess. Another Flock seems okay. Yeah, I'm just going to sit on this board state. I feel perfectly fine about taking 4 damage next turn, and maybe he'll play another troop and get a little bit more aggressive. Give me some more card advantage. Oh, true. Yeah, I should have taken the 1 damage. You're right. Good call, Ridian. Good call. Let's see. For some reason, I had it in my mind that he was going to buff his Dandelion Sprite again. So, yeah, obviously we want to buff the most. We want to block the most damage possible. I'd like it if he played more cards here. So 4 damage here, 3 damage. So I'm taking 5. Yeah, so I should have actually, I should be at 19 and not at 18 if I had made that play properly. I don't think he's going to play any troops here, though. Oh, he's going to play the Jadim! Oh, that was awesome. That is awesome. He has to know that the Extinction is coming now. Not everyone plays Extinction at 4 resources, people. Just saying. Not everybody does that. There's a Persecute. 2 cards in hand. I feel really good about playing this Extinction right now. Yeah, I mean, that was huge. Don't really have anything else to play. I can play the Persecute in response to something in his end step, so there's no real reason to play Seagulls here. And I can play both Seagulls and Root Dancer together and then buff Seagulls, which isn't good at all, really, but whatever. It makes it so it's harder for him to attack me, I guess. There's only 1 more Root Dancer left in his deck. What'd you do? What are you doing?
I got you.
Ellie, am I going to win or am I going to lose? I'm going to lose. Yeah, that's the support I get at home. Another Jadim. Fine. I have Mesmerize for it. I have Flock, actually, for it. So, that Jadim's pretty inconsequential for me. Yeah, I'd rather actually still save this Mesmerize. So we can play Corpsefly Seagulls here. And I can hold on to my Wild Shards to buff with my Root Dancer. That seems pretty good. Yeah, let's go ahead and play our Corpsefly out here. Nab one of those cards. Maybe a Fist of Brigadon. That'd be nice. Fist of Brigadon. Wild. Okay. And I'll go ahead and play Flock. And I will not play a Shard here so I can maximize my Root Dancer. I don't think I need the resources up for Persecute. Most of his stuff's pretty slow anyway, so if he swings in, I actually get 2 damage back. So that seems pretty good to me. So I can still save Mesmerize here and just sit on this board state. I haven't seen a single wild aura out of him yet, so there's nothing to make me believe that he has it. Okay, Chlorophilia. Seems really bad for him to be playing that now. I mean, I guess next turn he'll be able to play his Fist if he's got it. Yeah, no reason to swing in with Jadim there. I didn't think he would. Relentless Corruption. I'm gonna go and play the Relentless Corruption. Oh, he discarded a Wild Aura. Okay, I should pay more attention. Oh, look at that! I stole one of your fists, which is awesome. However, I can't play it because I need 4 blood resources in play to do it. I can battle the troop if I wanted to. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and play the Root Dancer out here. And Wild Shard. And we'll buff the Corpse Fly. Rather have something that's offensive get buffed than something that's defensive. So that's one less fist that I have to worry about. So things are looking up already. Oh yeah. Let's look. Wild Growth. Yeah, that's not Wild Aura, that's Wild Growth. I can almost combat trick Persecute with Corpse Fly right here. Actually, I can on the next turn because I'll have Wild. Okay, so I have to Mesmerize that thing. I'm not losing. This deck is a control deck. This is basically Sapphire Wild control or Sapphire Blood control, but I've been drawing his shards out of his deck. Wonderful Fist. Oh, that murder's gonna be a pleasant surprise. Well, I guess I can do it on my turn. Actually, I can almost buff my Corpse Fly to block his Fist. So I'm gonna not murder his guy and attack in here. I'm gonna be more defensive because I want to see what his last card is. I'm gonna take 6 off of his Fist here, and I want him to think I have Countermagic in hand as well. But pretty soon I should be able to buff my Corpse Fly so it could block Fist if I needed it to. If I really needed to, I can Persecute his Fist and debuff it and block it. So Fist has to block attack in here. Yeah, for 6. Let's see if he swings with Jadim. He does. I murder in response. It's his attack step. Throw Flock in front of his... I guess I could have buffed the Flock to absorb a little bit more damage. But I'd still rather have my 6 damage to his 6 damage. It seems pretty good to me. So I'll go ahead and block there. And now I get to swing back for 8. Unless he plays something in his second main phase. But I've got Persecute for a lot of his low-end stuff. He could play another Fist here, which would be a problem. Well, no, not really, because I can block it all day with Corpse Fly next turn. I kind of just wanted to see what he would have. Chances were that he wasn't going to have very much. He's going to fight. In response, I will Persecute. This better work right. Don't kill my Corpse Fly. I need him. Yes. I'm gonna burn that card. Yes, Persecute. If you double Persecute a Fist, it will kill it. So, yes, it does. It gives it -3/-3. Does it permanently? No, it's just this turn. Just want to play the Crash of Beasts. Okay. That's the first time he's played it. So I'm mesmerizing his Fist here. If I draw 3 more Blood Shards, I'm playing my own Fist. Just saying. So let's go ahead and peek first. I don't have another Sapphire Shard, so I'm only going to peek for 3. I want to see what I've got here available. Another Relentless Corruption seems really good to me, so I'm going to draw that. except that I don't get to. I get Corrupt Harvester instead. Because it's a little bit bugged. It's looking at 3 cards that aren't the same 3 cards, apparently. So, Mesmerize his Fist here. Second main phase will play Corrupt Harvester and Wild Shard. I could have done that in second main phase as well, but because I want to buff my Harvester. That's what I really want to do. So really good that I drew into that Harvester, I guess. Although I would have rather Relentless Corruption him again. Second main phase. Oh, I can't play the Harvester and buff him. Well, that's unfortunate. I should have played Harvester first and then Mesmerize. I should have looked at my shards. Play mistake there. So we're gonna have to... I have to play him here, though. That's unfortunate. So big play mistake there. That's unfortunate. I might as well just set this guy up so he can absorb all that Rhino damage. Just in case he does something else where he can kill my Horsefly with another, like, one of these. Although I guess he really couldn't. I guess if he buffs his Rhino, then I can Survival of the Fittest in response my Corpsefly to his Rhino. But Harvester should put me ahead now far enough that it won't matter. Yeah, so big play mistake there. Instead of playing Harvester before I played Mesmerize, I should have played Harvester first, then played my Shard, buffed the Harvester, then played Mesmerize on his Fist. So he swings with Rhino, I block with Seagulls. Well, then go puke in the bathroom where you're supposed to puke.
No, I can't.
You can't? You want to sit in the lap?
No, I spilled my pickle all over.
You spilled your puke all over. That sounds like a really big mess that I don't want to deal with, but I'm probably going to have to. Oh, you're gonna do that, huh? I guess I have to let that go. You know what? In response... Oh, I can't even play my Survival of the Fittest. In response, I could have Survival of the Fittest my Harvester to his Rhino, but unfortunately I don't have resources to play it. So I have him on a 3-turn clock here. He's in top deck mode. I feel pretty good about the match right now. I think it'd be hilarious to play this Fist here. That'd be pretty funny. She's on a 2-turn clock now. Let's go and draw our card. Sapphire Shard. Swing in. Might as well swing in with that guy too, just to kill his Battle Hopper. He has no cards in hand, so he has no tricks up his sleeve. His digital sleeves. Can what work? Can me using Survival of the Fittest on my guy first? Yes, because it's last in, first out. Because that's the last thing played, it would resolve first. See what he's got here. I don't think he can stop my giant Corpsefly. Yeah, I think I'm about to win, Elliot. That's pretty inconsequential. Second main phase, end step. Go ahead and, just because I can, just go ahead and kill those. You can fight troops in any state, so like no matter if they're exhausted or ready, you can fight them. It just says that they battle each other, so they just deal damage to each other. Is all that's really happening in game terms. As long as they're targetable, you can fight them because you're targeting both. So if they're untargetable, like if I can't target my opponent's thing that's untargetable, that's the only difference. The only problem that you might run into there. So. I thought he'd like to know that I have his Fist to bring it on. I will go over the deck right after I'm done, and you can pick it apart. And this is always being recorded to my raw recording. So if you go to past recordings after I'm done recording, it'll be there within 24 hours because it has to process. Yeah, I'll just run through the deck after I'm done with this. It sucks getting beat down with your own cards. This deck could actually be refined a little bit more, but it works pretty well so far. Yeah. So, isn't it great not to see me play Mono Wild, people? Don't you guys appreciate that? I hope you appreciate this, because those were some rough. Game 2 was a little bit rough. Just saying. The basic premise is draw go with this deck, and this deck couldn't be made possible without Peak. I cannot make that any more clear, because this allows me to draw cards in my opponent's end step, which is a huge problem that we weren't able to do before in any Sapphire Shards. We've got the obligatory 4 Flock of Seagulls to help me hold on. You saw me playing that quite a bit. I've got a single Argus, but I'm thinking about playing 2 because he just simply takes over the board state. And the mistake I made in game 2 really was not removing his troop, thinking that he couldn't buff it big enough to get to my Argus, and that's exactly what he did. So kudos for him to doing that, even though my murder should have killed it, and it should have been in a zone where it couldn't be targeted and not actually even being a troop, being in the graveyard, but that's neither here nor there. I've got the single Atrophy in here just for whatever that thing is. That thing that just keeps coming back. You really need to deal with that. So you might actually run like maybe 2 of these in the sideboard for, what's it called? I'm going to find it in a minute here. Yeah, this thing. Inquisitor. You got to deal with that guy because he just keeps coming back. He dodges your Extinction. He dodges a lot of your removal. So, Atrophy is like the only real good way to deal with him. Apparently I only have 1 Corrupt Harvester, but we saw that he was a real house, so you might actually play 2 in here. The 4 Extinctions, obligatory, of course. Everybody's going to do that. 2 Corpse Fly feels about right. So I probably wouldn't play too much more than that. You might, if you in the control matchup, maybe you might run 1 or 2 in the sideboard in your reserves, as it were. 2 Murder feels about right. I feel like that's pretty good. It gives me another quick action I can do in my opponent's end step. 2 Persecute feels about right. You can't run just 1 Persecute, and the reason why is because of Fist. You need to give yourself a chance to have another way to deal with Fist, and 2 Persecute does that. So 2 for 1, not the best, but it will do the job if you need it to. This is another card you could probably run an additional card in your sideboard with. Of course, you've got 4 of these Relentless Corruption. Now, if you look at this card, and then you look at like Oracle Song is really good when you play it. As soon as you play it, but Relentless Corruption is an Oracle Song the second time you play it, and then the third time you play it, it's technically better than Oracle Song because it's drawing you cards, and it's also could put you in a board state where your opponent draws out if you counter everything your opponent does and you aren't able to kill them for some reason. Single Uruunaz feels fine, perfectly fine. You might trade him for Argus or just run the 2 Argus. I don't know that I would run more than 1 Uruunaz because the 3 threshold could be a little bit prohibitive, and he's really, really slow to play. Argus is a lot faster to play, as we saw. You can play Argus on turn 6 if you draw him in your opening hand. You are going to get to play Argus eventually. Uruunaz, you might not. So I don't know that I would run more than 1. 4 obligatory Countermagic. That pretty much has to be that way. 3 Mesmerize is mostly, again, for the Fist, which we saw it worked really well for that, and it can work for other things as well. For the mass creatures, we have Extinction, but that's mainly what it's in there. For Peak is going to help us smooth out a lot of our draws. We have, what is this, 12 plus 9 is 20, or that's, it's 21, 25. We're only 25 resources in here, so if anything, you might choose to get rid of like an Oracle Song, and then maybe throwing in another Corrupt Harvester. The biggest problem I'm having with this deck right now is I've got too much blood in this deck. So if you like, if Relentless Corruption is not your style, dump it and play more Oracle Song, and then find something else to play, and then maybe play another Harvester. But I really kind of had to remove some blood cards because I was just over budgeted. Let's see what I put on my sideboard. So yeah, here's what I had on my sideboard, or my reserves. I have the additional Mesmerize for the Fist matchup, 2 Dinglers for the Fist matchup, again, 2 more Persecutes for like low-end stuff in the Fist matchup. Corpse Fly is really good in the Control matchup and also the Fist matchup. A lot of this stuff is just anti-Fist because, again, I feel like that's one of the most dominant things in the series right now. Curse of Oblivion, another thing that's really good for any card that's giving you fits. I don't know that you need to run 4 of them, maybe 2 or 3. And then Chronic Madness is really good in the Control matchup. So you could probably side. I don't like running too much stuff that's counterproductive, so if I sided this in, I would probably side out. Relentless Corruption instead. Although they do kind of work hand in hand. So that is pretty much the deck I was just running, and it seemed to work well enough.